the safe road is gonna pay off. I mean, there's many payoffs with it. There's acceptance, popularity, friendships, but the safe road isn't who you truly are, and I can't be there, um, and have my soul on a whole different track. It's always worth losing. It's always worth risking. Um, and I'm not the type of guy to to try to fit into the crowd. To try to do what I got to do to be accepted, gain popularity. Uh, I'm not trying to get fake friendships. I'm not trying to be trying to be right in your eyes. And if this other side of me isn't a popular one, um, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. I mean, I believe in myself, and even if I'm not as popular as I was, I will expand myself. Um, I'm willing to lose everything to express this side of myself. And I was making these decisions to go out and do things that weren't expected of me. I mean, I knew inside that I could do this, but I don't think anybody on the outside, you know, ex- I don't think anybody on the outside knew that I was this type of person. And I made the mistake of putting on a mask, acting like somebody I'm not, and it's tough. Um, and you have to when you do this kind of stuff, you have to accept losing people. You have to risk losing popularity and acceptance in order to do something that's close to your heart. To risk being seen is the toughest thing in the world, and that's the risk, to show them your true authentic self, to be yourself, and not, a lot of people these days are choosing Republican or Democrat, Trump, Hillary. There's like I mentioned before, there's country people, there's city people. Everyone's trying to, I understand. If you're born and raised in the country, cool. If you're born and raised in the city, cool. Then you're awesome. But I feel like no matter what side you're on, there's still gonna be parts of the other side that you enjoy, whether you're a country, but you like big cities, you like San Francisco, Los Angeles. I mean, I love Los Angeles. I hate San Francisco, but there's people that love San Francisco and hate Los Angeles. You know, and when you're trying to fit into the whole, you know, for me, I'm familiar with the countryside. So when you're trying to fit in with that, you don't want to walk around a bunch of country people and you're like, oh, like, yeah, I'm going to San Francisco. I can't wait. No, most likely you're going to be shunned about that. And like I said, that's the risk you have to take if you're going to be yourself, and that's where self confidence comes into play. Um, sorry, I got this glitter on my face from the table and it's really bothering my eyes. Anyways, yeah, self confidence is a huge factor in life. I mean, nothing has been accomplished in history without self confidence, and the negativity from society is always going to be there. You're going to do something positive in life that somebody isn't going to like, and that's your choice whether you're going to move forward with that, or if you're going to stop because you don't want to be unaccepted in life. And my favorite quote actually comes from my favorite actor, comedian Jim Carrey. I know. Well, here we go again with the Jim Carrey stuff, Andrew. You just can't leave him alone, you little stalker. No, but the quote goes, "Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in life. Risk being seen in all of your glory." And that speaks. That speaks. Not really sure how it's. That's important to me because you know last week, everything that happened before last week from, I'd say, about 2007 until last week. Everything I did was pretty much just trying to be, you know, what people wanted me to be. I always had my moments at home where, that was my time to relax and be who I was. Out in the world, everything was totally different for me. I was, trying to do what I can to kind of fit in. Um, I don't want to go into too many details, but I remember growing up uh, before 2007, my freshman year in high school. Everything before that, I was, I felt like I was my true self. I was always happy. I was always trying to make people laugh. Always trying to be the next big comedian in class. I was trying to take that class clown title from anybody that tried to get in my way. And most classes don't do the class clown, most likely to succeed, best eyes, hair, yada yada. Usually that's like an eighth grade kind of thing. And when eighth grade came along, I was doing my best to get that, because that's who I was. I felt like I was put here to free people from concern, and I always wanted to see the best side of people, whether it was their best skill or just true happiness. I always wanted to see the best of everybody that I knew. So I was always trying to make people laugh. I was always, doing what I can to be the class clown and just free people from all the stress that they had, and it worked. It always seemed to work. And when eighth grade came around, we didn't have our own school yearbook in eighth grade. We had, what we did was just an eighth grade yearbook where all the students and our teacher at the time, we got together. We put together our own pictures, memories, and we did the most likely to succeed, best hair, best eyes, friendliest person, class clown, and it was between me and, I believe, it was another girl in my class. We were nominated for the class clown, and like I said, that was a very important thing in my life. And these things like best eyes, yada yada, people may not take those seriously, but when I was nominated for class clown, I was like, you know what, I could really do this. This is something I worked for my whole school life at that up to that point. And I was lucky enough to win the class clown. I got named class clown of the year for eighth grade, and I don't think people realize that for some people that stuff hits their heart and that stays with them. I mean, that happened early 2007, so I mean almost 11 years ago that happened, and that's still, I feel like, one of the highlights of my entire life was when I won that class clown award. You know, I felt like I succeeded finally at, people noticed what I was trying to do, and it paid off. I was my true self, and I was accepted for that, and it paid off. And unfortunately, I want to say after I graduated eighth grade, that was in May, June 3rd, June 4th, something like that, in 2007. And in, October that same year, a lot changed in my life, a lot changed in my whole family's life, and I lost touch of who I really was. I wasn't really the class clown. I wasn't really my true self. I wasn't trying to free people of concern. I hit a very depressed part of my life. Speaking for a few people in my family, we all felt, life changed at that point, and it was hard to stay positive. It was hard to look up in life. It was hard to even be yourself anymore. It was a life changing moment, and it took a good year and a half for me to finally realize there's more in life than, mourning over something that happened in my life. Nothing positive was coming out of it. I was in a deep, dark spot that I felt like I couldn't get out of. And one day I remember watching, I want to say it was Ace Ventura. I had seen Ace Ventura when it first came out in 2004, 2005, somewhere around there, with Jim Carrey. And I remember watching it again. I'm 99% sure it was Ace Ventura. I remember watching that, and Jim Carrey was just, you can tell that Jim Carrey was being his true self the entire movie. Later I found out that he actually pretty much the movie script was presented to him. He didn't like it, so he rewrote it to how he wanted it to be, which was who he really was as a person, so he could, instead of acting like somebody, he was just being himself. So I was watching that movie and I was like, this guy, this guy's onto something, and I really looked up to his role as Ace Ventura. So, hold on, mind blank or blank, whatever it's called. All right, so, I really looked up to him, and I was like, this guy is exactly who I've always wanted to be. So, that's where my kind of, I don't want to say obsession, that sounds creepy, but my idolization came for Jim Carrey as I started, watching this movie, watching that movie that he made, buying this movie, and I worked my way up to, I had the entire collection of Jim Carrey movies and TV shows, and I think it was my junior year of high school is when all this started to kick in, the inspiration from Jim Carrey. And that's another thing, is inspiration is going to get you so far in life. You're not going to, without inspiration and self-confidence, it's hard to be successful in life. It's hard to be happy in life, hard to be who you are in life. And Jim Carrey gave me that self-confidence, gave me that inspiration to kick up that class clown personality that I truly had. And I remember, what was it? It was Algebra 1 my junior year. I failed it either my freshman or sophomore year, so I had to retake it in my junior year. And I remember, and I did all this stuff and still got I believe it was a 90, I want to say 97% in that class, which is kind of given to you once you take it, twice. But I remember every single day I was making the entire class, just dying laughing. Everyone was always saying, after class, or if I'd see them at lunch, oh, you were so funny in class today. How do you do that? How do you do that? And I was like, honestly, it's inspiration. You got to find who you really are, whether you're a comedian, a dramatic person, a genius, whatever it is, you have to find that. And it's a lot harder than it looks. Just watching a Jim Carrey movie is what clicked it. And I feel like you always, everyone's searching for who they are, but what they don't know is they already have who they really are. You just have to free yourself of concern, free yourself of, don't worry about what people are going to judge you about. Everyone's going to judge you at some point. And you just got to stop worrying about that. Look at the videos I'm doing. You think I really care what people say about me? No. But, I always had people happy for me, what I was doing in class. It freed them of their stressful lives and their stressful situations that they go through. And that's what always touched me deep down. And especially after that last video that I made, I got so much amazing feedback from that. And I want to thank every one of you, every single one of you, whether you privately messaged me, commented, liked it, whatever you did. trust me, I was listening. I was listening, and you know, every personal message that I got with that person's own true story of their struggle, it it hit me hard. Some of them did bring a tear to my eyes. They were pretty awesome to hear, and the feedback was amazing. I heard other people were hearing feedback with their. I guess people shared my videos, so they were hearing amazing feedback from that, and I just want to thank everybody, and I hope you guys are ready for what happens next, because it's not gonna be these long dramatic speeches of motivation or what have you, and it's it's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be some hyperness, some crying, some depression, but like I said in the first video, whatever whatever I'm going through in my state of mind is what you're gonna get. This is real ADHD. This is real life. This is who I really am, and I'm here to speak for anyone who has ADHD, ADD, any type of medical or not medical, brain imbalance. This is speaking for all of them, and I just hope it works out for the best for the people I have it. I hope I make them happy. I'm not worried about what society has to say about it. I can care less. Anybody can say something negative, which I did have some negative feedback from the last video, but I read it. I let it run its course through me, but ultimately I can care less, and I'm doing this for the people that aren't comfortable speaking their mind about who they really are, and I don't expect them to. I don't want them to. Let me do that for them. Let them send me, or let you guys send me whatever you guys want me to talk about. I'll talk about it. I don't care if you're depressed right now and this is how you're feeling, this is what you're feeling, this is what caused it. I'll talk about it. I'm not gonna mention you. I'll speak of it as it's happening to me. If you have any comments, concerns, I've had a lot of personal stories, and I thank you. Um, you know, I'm here for you. I'm your voice. So whatever you want to hear, whatever you want to release from what's building up inside you, tell me, and here I am. I'm your TV. I'm your microphone. Um, let's have at it. Love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Because from here on out, it's gonna be pretty crazy. Y'all take care. Bye.